Hello, my name is Jeremy Chang, and this is week 3 of my Excel training program. My ZID is 5764929, and today's date is the 20th of June 2026. So the first step that we're going to do for this week's training program is we're going to try and convert all the information from this image into an Excel doc. So how do you usually do that is you'd go to data and you press this button up here and it would say picture from file, where you would do picture from file, choose the image that you want to read the information off of. In this case, is this image, and it'll prepare your data. So when this reaches 100%, it'll essentially just paste down all the stuff. But as of right now, this is not really working. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a different Excel doc, which is right here. So these are all the values that were found on this image here. So essentially it's the same result, just through a different method. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Command A to select everything, and we're going to just copy paste it directly under here. Perfect. What we're also going to do now is Command A, and we're going to format everything so it is uniform. So do all the width, all that, then cell styles, going to do normal. Just going to get rid of this. Okay, perfect. So now everything is combined and we're ready to fix up any mishaps that could have been found in this data set. So the first thing that we're going to check is this third column, which is the freight carrier column. And what we're going to do is we're going to check for any spelling mistakes. As you can see, some of these are kind of off. As you can see, especially down here, some of them are all star free, like they're missing the I. So what we're going to do is we're going to just select this whole column. Press this button up here on home, find and select, go to replace. And as you can see, we can find the incorrect inputs and replace them with the correct ones. So what we're going to do is replace this with the correct one, and we're going to get rid of this typo here, which is FREGHT, and add the I and change the F into a capital. So we're going to replace, so as you can see, 4 replacements were found. So now all staff right is fixed. We're going to move on to the next one, where as you can see in this new data set, some of the bolt logistics are a little bit off. So we're going to find bolt logistics and replace it with the correct one. So replace all. As you can see, 3 replacements were made. The very last one is clever cat. As you can see, some of them say clever cat instead of clever cot. So I'm just gonna change that real quick. So we can have data as accurate as possible. These 4 replacements are made, and now everything should be perfect. So maybe just we can change some of those. Right, to capital F's. Okay, perfect. So now they're all capital F's. So now that that's done, the next step is to close this and add another column here. So we're going to name this one data source, because we need to identify which one is the new data and the old data. So what we're going to do is we're going to refer to all data as original records. And we're going to drag this down 150 spaces. So up until 451. So you can see everything's original record. And we're going to refer to the new just copy data as scanned inputs. So we'll just put that down up in there. What we'll do is we'll grab this column and we're going to format it. So grab the Command Shift down, format. So now it's just easier to read and it fits the boxes. Anyways, the next step is we're going to try to find the mean, the median, the standard deviation, min, max, and the range. So to find the average, and this is going to be on delivery times. So to find the mean, or in this case average, we're going to use the average formula. So that's D2 to D502, 501, close bracket, done. This is our average. So this is the average amount of days across all of these companies. And next, we're going to find the median. So we'll use the median function. So we'll do the same, D2 to D501. And next thing I'm going to do is find the standard deviation. So that's the standard deviation. So that's D2 to D501. Yep. And then what we're going to do is get the min. So equals min, like the other ones, also D2 to 501, close, and then max is D2 to D501. And the range is, of course, just the max minus the min. So these 6 are going to represent the whole data. So using all of this data as well, we're going to just hold that and then hold shift to select this entire row, not including these 6 values, just the raw data here. And we're going to make a histogram. So what you want to do is you want to go insert, then go to the histogram right here, and you want to choose the one that doesn't have the Pareto. So as you can see, we have histogram here, and it represents all the values here. What we want to do is we want to make these columns a little bit less chunky. So we're going to add chart element, axes, more axes options. Gonna make the width 1 just to make it look a little bit more clean and easier to read. And we're also going to change the title. So we're going to call this delivery time frequencies. And I'm going to just say that's in days. Perfect. So now the next step is we're going to make a pivot chart just so then we can kind of read all of this even better. Basically compress all of the data into one master table. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from here all the way up to here, and we're going to just pivot table. So we're going to do this on a new worksheet. So it'll make another one on the bottom here. I'll make a new tab. So once we've done that, we want to make sure flight carrier is selected, delivery time is selected, and delivery month is selected. And we want to make sure that these are in the correct spots. So as you can see, we want flight carrier on the columns. We want delivery month on the rows. And then the sum of delivery as the values in the actual table. What else we're going to do is we're going to change the sum to the average. So as you can see, how to read this chart is all staff flights in January had an average of 5 days to complete their delivery, and then so forth for each of the other ones for a grand total of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this table we're not going to change it. We're going to make a graph to better represent this table. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose this graph right here, because as you can see, it shows shows columns of each of these companies right next to each other for a really easy comparison. And that's it for this week.